Bonjour, je m'appelle Adelino Amaral, and yes, this is the only French you will hear from me today, because now we are talking business. Welcome to the Energy Ops Desk, the channel that helps you to master the energy trading operation one trade at a time. See you next. Hi, and welcome to this new episode in our Energy Ops Desk channel. Today, we are going to talk about a very important topic: front office, middle office, and back office. The goal of this session is simple. I want to explain who does what, and why each role matters, and why the handoffs between teams are very important. In energy trading, most problems do not happen because people are not smart. No. They usually happen because ownership is not clear, information is incomplete, or one team assumes that the other one already checked something. So today we are going to simplify the trade life cycle and make the rules easy to understand. So let's start. Energy trading is not one single job. It is a controlled chain of responsibilities. Front office owns the commercial decision. They create the deal idea, manage the market view, talk to counterparties, and execute trades. Middle office provides independent control. They validate the risk. The P&L make sure the trades are under the limits, the valuation of the trade, and any market data are accurate. Back office takes care of the cash and records, meaning they confirm the trades, settle invoices, pay, receive, and reconcile. When the handoff is weak, the problem usually appears later as a trade break, a dispute, a wrong invoice, a limit issue, or a P&L surprise. Here's a simple map. Front office makes the deal, right? And is responsible to enter it in the system. It's what we call the trade capture. So you can watch my previous videos about this subject. Middle office controls the risk. Back office settles the cash. They are all looking at the same trade, but from different angles. Front office is focused on the commercial opportunity. Middle office is focused on independent measurements and control. Back office is focused on confirmations, settlement, cash, and records. These teams are not enemies. They are part of the same control chain. Let's start with front office. Front office is the commercial engine of the business, right? This usually includes traders, originators, the business developers, marketers, and in some companies, schedulers and or commercial operators. Their job is to build a market view, price opportunities, talk to counterparties, execute trades, manage commercial exposure, and capture the initial trade information. In simple words, front office creates value by making and managing the deal. But there is an important control point here. Because front office is focused on the commercial results, they should not own everything alone. They should not be the final independent owner of P&L validation, risk limits, settlement approval, cash movement, or accounting records. Front office creates the trades, but control must be independent. Now, let's move to middle office. Middle office is the independent control function. Their core question is, or the main question is the trade correctly measured, valued, or controlled? They validate trade data, produce or review P&L, monitor risk exposure, check limits, review market curves and prices, and explain what is driving P&L changes. They use tools like the ETRM system, risk engines, market data curves, position reports, stress reports, and P&L explain reports. Middle office is not just a reporting team. They are the independent view of risk and performance. They need to be close enough to understand the trade, but independent enough to challenge it. That challenge is what protects the company. Middle office does not stop the business. It keeps the business controlled. Back office. The back office is the operational engine of the trade lifecycle. What I mean is their core question is very practical. Did the right cash move on the right date for the right trade under the right contract? Back office confirms trades, validates settlements, generates and check invoices, pays and receives cash, reconciles differences, and feeds the accounting records. This function is sometimes underestimated, but it is extremely important. The trade is not really finished when it is executed. It is finished when it is confirmed, settled, reconciled, and recorded correctly. Common issues include price mismatches, wrong volumes, missing index fixings, tax, fee dispute, counterparty entity problems, etc., etc. Back office turns trade data into agreed records and real cash. Let's connect the dots and look at the end of workflow. Here on the screen you can see that first the deal is agreed by front office, then front office captures the trade in the system. After that, middle office validates the risk and checks the P&L. They look at exposure, valuation, market curves and limits. Then back office confirms the trade, settles the invoice and reconciles the cash and records. A clean handoff means that the next team receives enough information to do their job without guessing. The objective is not to create more bureaucracy. The objective is to reduce surprises and cash issues early. Let's check a simple example with gas trade. Imagine we buy 10,000 MMBtu per day at Houston Ship Channel for next month, priced at an index plus a fixed fee. Front office agrees the commercial terms and captures the trade. It's entering in the system, right? They own the commercial intent, the counterparty relationship, and the initial trade details. Middle office validates the exposure, the curve, and the P&L impact. Their job is to make sure the risk is measured independently. Back office confirms the terms with the counterparty, check the invoice, settles the cash, and reconciles the records. Same trade, 3 different lenses. A good rule is this: each team should be able to explain its own answer without relying only on the previous team's opinion. So now, where does problems usually appear? Most operational breaks come from unclear ownership or weak handoffs. Capture break can happen when the product price, volume, book, strategy, counterparty, or delivery point is wrong. A valuation break can happen when the curve, index, fee, pricing, and valuation method does not match the risk view. A confirmation break happens when the counterparty record does not match the internal record. A settlement break happens when the invoice, volume, tax, index fixing, or payment timing does not match. An accounting break happens when a trade amendment or settlement adjustment doesn't flow correctly downstream. The point is not to blame people. a break is information. It tells us that something in the life cycle is not aligned. The real question is where should the control have caught it and who owns the resolution. So now let's see who owns what, right? This is a very practical sheet. Front office is accountable for trade strategy, execution, and initial capture of the trade in the system. Middle office is accountable for the independent P&L validation, risk validation, valuation, and limit monitoring. Back office is accountable for confirmations, invoices, settlement, reconciliations, and cash records. Not every company uses exactly the same structure, right? So be careful. But the principle is the stable. Commercial accountability, independent risk control, and operational settlement should not be blurred. When ownership is clear, investigations are faster, escalation are cleaner, and the business runs with less noise. So what is the final takeaway for you guys? The trade lifecycle becomes clear when ownership is clear. Front office creates the trade and owns the commercial decision. Middle office independently controls risk, P&L, valuation, and limits. Back office confirms, settles, reconciles, and protects the cash record. So if one role is unclear, the trade may still move, but the control chain becomes weaker. The objective is not to memorize the job titles. The objective is to understand accountability. Who creates the exposure, who controls it, and who turns it into cash and records. So I hope this video was helpful and helps you to understand more deeply a little bit what is front, back, and middle office. In the other videos, I will go deeply in each desk. So please let me know what you think about it, or do you need more details. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and see you soon.
Ice cold gray, stone face, but I own the place. Silk on skin, sharp in the frame. You say my name like you know the game. Palm read, I saw your bluff. Small talk, baby, I'm too rough. I keep my calm, I keep my cut. One look and your whole crew shut. Hush now, watch me glide. Snake stare, I don't hide. Blink once, then I'm gone.